We had this idea that we had to like beam love out at people. You know, each car we had to shoot it out. And then we shifted to this thinking of like, well, we'll just be love. We'll just stand here and just try to be in it ourselves and feel it. And then they'll, you know, that will be what transmits it, kind of. And when we made that shift, instead of being exhausted at the end of it, we were all kind of like, you know, energized, and it didn't feel like it was draining. And then it slowly, you know, felt like a practice.
I think it's just this little button that we're all remembering, and we live our lives that way, but it's like this little interesting, sweet, simple phrase that is almost like a snap back into this moment.
Unlimited love is not held hostage to some kind of ironclad law of reciprocity. Love and forget about it. You know, it is so joyful, and we have brain studies now that point out that love is very much associated with feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. You benefit tremendously just by being engaged in that energy.
I think that, you know, that love is this very small word that covers a tremendous amount of, you know, territory.
Yeah.
And you can look at love as more than just a feeling or emotion. It's a unifying force, a guiding principle, you know, the creation of the universe based around, you know, this thing called love. And I think as human beings, we're barely beginning to understand what love really is. The communication with heart and brain begins to improve. That opens the brain up. It allows us to have access to a greater, you know, mental and brain capacity. So we see the bigger picture. We get smarter. We make better decisions, you know. Physiologically, it begins to trigger the release of hormones into the body that regenerate us. It reduces stress. And over time, practicing techniques like that can have a dynamic effect on their physiology, on how we feel. And by learning how to feel those positive emotions on demand, we begin to actually change neural circuitry in the brain so that we begin to feel differently about things, and it becomes easier to feel good more often. And that's the beauty of it. And the real beauty of it is that, you know, we begin to get another sense of control over our emotions, and then we can evoke positive emotions. We don't have to wait for life to make it happen. We can decide that we want to feel loving towards someone right now, just like you folks do in the work that you do with your Hello Love project.
There's a genius to the gesture of love being your motivation for moving instead of fear. You're basically laying naked something that is really dear to your heart, and so it hurts when it's not accepted. It's like, yeah, I think that we should expect to be laughed at and ridiculed for loving without reason. It has never not happened in the history of mankind. And so what you guys are doing is practicing a gesture of love. And what happens when you practice a gesture of love is that you realize that love is actually all there is. And you can open to it or close to it. You can feel it or you can suffer not feeling it.
Yeah, it's really been amazing on this trip. Actually, that just brought up so much for me about just the amazingness of being able to connect with people, and the way no matter where we were or what we were doing, it was all the same. It's so incredible. You just want to shout it from the rooftops.
I think basing your existence on a vision of radical love is radical.
It's like the human heart, the human soul is being freed from this prison of perceived separation. And when that freedom takes place, the human heart and the human soul is allowed to celebrate in creative ways that we've never imagined. Humanity is on the brink of some incredible breakthroughs. We are going to be forced by the complexity of global warming, of all these problems, to start connecting at levels that we never knew was unimaginable. And there is a world waiting for us of human connection and working together that we don't even know is possible. And it's going to have a lot of celebration in it. And yes, there's going to be some incredible challenges to get there. And it's going to require each of us taking on the responsibility of transforming ourselves.
Open up your heart and let it show. Hello, love, hello. Open up your mind, know what you know. Let go of life and let it flow. Let go of life and let